Officially known as the Syrian Arab Republic, this is a country in Western Asia bordering Lebanon, Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, and Israel. There's a lot of borders around this country. This is a country that is home to the diverse ethnic and religious group, so we thought it would be interesting to learn more about this country. There's so much to learn about it. So this is the top 10 surprising facts about Syria, and let me know if you guys knew about any of these facts. Starting off this list, like we always do, number 10. The 2 stars in the Syrian flag represents the previous union between Syria and Egypt. The flag of Syria was officially adopted on March 30th, 1980, and it incorporates the pan-Arab colors of green, red, white, and black, which represents the various dynasties that ruled the region in history. Moving into number 9, the Shouting Valley. This is a place where Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel meet. The name Shouting Valley comes from the habit of people shouting out their relatives through megaphones across the valley. However, with the invention of the mobile phone, people don't do this as often as they would during the war times, except on special occasions such as like weddings. The Shouting Valley has since then become a popular tourist attraction. But for me personally, I don't know if I would go there because it's a very dangerous country to go to right now. Okay, so Syria has won 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze medal in the history of the Olympic Games. I love sports, so I thought I'd include this fact in at number 8. Syria first participated in the 1948 Games in London when they only had 1 person competing in the diving category. He finished 10th place in the men's platform, and then Syria missed the next 4 Olympics. Syria returned back in 1968, but they have never participated in the Winter Olympic Games. Syria won the gold in the women's heptathlon, silver in the men's freestyle 100kg wrestling, and bronze in the men's heavyweight boxing category. Glass blowing was invented in Syria, and this comes in at number 7. This technique was invented by a Syrian craftsman in the 1st century BC, where blown vessels were produced commercially and was exported to all parts of the Roman Empire. This major milestone practically made the time-consuming job of making clay pots obsolete. Number 6. The capital of Syria is one of the oldest continually inhabited cities in the world. Damascus was founded in the 3rd millennium BC, which makes it twice as old as London and more of an ancient city than Rome. In the Middle Ages, it was the center of a booming crafts industry specializing in swords and lace. Excavations on the outskirts of the city have shown that Damascus was inhabited as early as 8000 to 10,000 BC. The Al-Assad family have ruled Syria since 1971, which brings us into number 5. They have established an authoritarian government under the control of the Ba'ath Party. Authoritarian government is a way of ruling that values order and control over personal freedom. A government that is ran under the authoritarianism is usually controlled by a dictator. Despite the current Syrian president's promise of human rights reform, not much has changed since the Bashar al-Assad took office, and Syria is still under the control of a dictatorship. Syria was ruled by France until 1946, and this comes into number 4. Syria was colonized by France in 1918 and later became independent in 1946. In an agreement known as the Sykes-Picot Agreement, Britain and France decided to divide the Middle East into French and British spheres of influence. Syria was to be put under the French mandate. In the early 1920s, French troops landed on the Syrian coast after several battles with the poorly equipped Syrian rebels. They managed to get the country under their control. In 1923, the League of Nations officially recognized French mandate over Syria. However, the French did not live up to their promises, which have caused Syrians to protest. The United Nations came up with a resolution which demanded France to withdraw from Syria. Their last soldier left Syria on April 17th, 1946, which was chosen to be Syria's national day. Now, in at number 3, Syria was put under emergency law in 1963. This law gave the government nearly unlimited authority to restrict individuals' freedoms and to investigate and detain suspects when national security and public safety were deemed to be at risk. The government claimed that these measures were necessary to defend Syria. However, these emergency powers were used to protect the government, who would use forces to harass, imprison, and sometimes kill critics of the government. This law was lifted just recently in 2011 when the Civil War broke out, which was after 48 years of having this law in effect. The Syrian refugee crisis makes its way onto this list at number 2. This is a really big situation that's been happening. It's very sad. It is estimated that 12 million Syrians have fled their homes since the outbreak of the Civil War in March of 2011. Families are struggling to survive in Syria or make new homes in neighboring countries. Some of them are risking their lives in order to try to migrate to Europe, hoping to find acceptance and opportunity. Sadly, there are currently 13.5 1.5 million people who are in need of humanitarian assistance within Syria, and according to the UN, it will take 7.7 billion to meet the urgent needs of the vulnerable Syrians left in the country. Finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, the Syrian civil war is the deadliest conflict that the 21st century has witnessed so far. Initially, Syrians complained about high unemployment, corruption, and a lack of political freedom under President Bashar al-Assad in March of 2011. Protesters inspired by the Arab Springs that erupted in the southern city of Deraa. The government used deadly forces to attempt to stop these protesters, which soon triggered nationwide protests demanding that the president resign. Since then, more than 450,000 Syrians have been killed in the fight. More than 1 million have been injured, and over 12 million Syrians, which is half of the country's pre-war population, have been displaced from their homes. Well, there you guys have it. That was a whole lot of information. Syria is like a really interesting and really a unique country, and it's very sad what's going on down there. Well, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys very soon in a new Most Amazing Top 10 video.